Spiritual Teaching 290. Love each other. 1. God is love, light, and justice. All those who manifest those attributes in his life will be representing and honoring the divine Lord. 2. All individuals, including those who are the least elevated and humble to those who are the most elevated, should know the true meaning of justice, love, and wisdom. Each one needs to realize that the divine law is unchangeable so that he will lovingly accept his destiny without asking the Lord to change it. 3. Be aware that if your Father, the Creator of all things, never changes any of his divine laws, man has no right to change them either. 4. Your spirit is happy because it has achieved evolution. Each time that it reincarnates on earth, it brings new knowledge from its past lives, as well as enlightenment from the spiritual valley. Those experiences help to illuminate its path of spiritual evolution. 5. The knowledge of life and the experiences that the spirit acquires offer eternal enlightenment to the spirit. It is the true science. 6. At the end, the only thing that the spirit retains is the knowledge that it acquires in its struggles. I say to you that you should not waste that enlightenment, which is your heritage, in deeds that are of no value. Use it only for things that are good, elevated, and noble. An example of this is the money that people use on earth. It can be a blessing if it is used for good, elevated, and noble reasons, but can create problems if it is not. 7. You have to learn to not despair when you are slowly being purifying through suffering, because that is when many of your spiritual virtues evolve and develop. It will also help you learn how to truly pray, which is from your spirit to my spirit. When you pray in that manner, you allow your spirit, whom you do not know, to communicate with God. I am going to form an army from those who have witnessed my manifestation. You will be soldiers of peace who will help your brethren find the path to spiritual enlightenment, rather than soldiers of destructive wars. You will triumph using peaceful means and will establish things that are virtuous and good. The only things that you will destroy are those things that are harmful to man. 8. In your heart you tell me, God is justice. I then ask you, if you comprehend that God is justice and perfect wisdom, why do you sometimes want the divine laws to be changed? 9. You judge things as superficially as a child, ignoring that the ordeals that you endure are the ones that you have brought upon yourself. Thus, when those ordeals descend upon you, you desire that they cease so that you will no longer suffer and endure that bitterness. You are unable to penetrate with your spiritual vision into reality, thus failing to comprehend that you are harvesting what you have sowed and therefore are responsible for your own suffering. 10. You have not known how to penetrate into the truth, and that is why you believe that you are a victim of divine injustice whenever you suffer. I say to you that God is never unjust. 11. God's love is eternal and does not change. Therefore, those who believe that God can become angry and wrathful are truly mistaken. Only human beings become angry and wrathful when they lack spiritual elevation and are unable to control their low passions. 12. You sometimes ask me, Lord, why do we have to suffer the consequences of what others have done and harvest those bitter fruits? I say to you that you are unaware of the truth because you do not know who you were before nor what you did in the past. 13. Those who preach a doctrine of fear, punishment, and ignorance have greatly distorted my true doctrine. Do you know why they act in that manner? It is because they want to rule over people and be in control. They do not know humility and also are vain, telling others that they are possessors of the divine truth, believing they are preferred over others. 14. Their preaching lacks truth and enlightenment. They attempt to frighten people so that they will continue to be privileged and in control. 15. Only my mercy and enlightenment will be able to save the large multitudes from being led into an abyss of spiritual darkness. 16. I disapprove of those preaching a blind faith, a faith that lacks knowledge, and that is acquired through fear and superstitions. 17. Do not listen to the words of those who attribute to God all the adversity and hardships that humanity is experiencing. They will tell you that the plagues, hunger, and epidemics that are occurring on earth are because of God's punishment and anger. Those are the false prophets. 20. I promised to return because I knew that man would thirst for spiritual enlightenment. I informed humanity in the second era that I would send the Spirit of truth, and in this third era, I have fulfilled that promise by manifesting myself among you. If you were to inform those who have misinterpreted the scriptures that the Divine Master has come spiritually to speak of his doctrine, do you think, my disciples, that they would believe you? I tell you to truly prepare yourself so that when you confront those who are fanatics and stubborn, you will remain strong and not weaken. As you learn to express yourself with your brethren and become spiritually inspired, you will be able to illuminate them spiritually by awakening their spirits and touching their hearts. 21. My doctrine is unlike the doctrine presented by the false prophets. I have told you that death does not exist and that you have eternal life. Neither punishment nor the eternal fire of hell await a sinner when he departs from earth. There is only purification, ordeals he must experience, and spiritual enlightenment. 22. All things are being transformed without ceasing and evolving toward the state of perfection. You, yourself, are an example of this. You will experience great changes during a lifetime, and although eventually you will die, you will reincarnate to continue your path toward spiritual perfection. 23. The Divine Father will not neglect those things that He has created without perfecting them. How can you believe that someday I would destroy those things that I have created without bringing them to perfection? 24. Pray and allow the Father to grant you His teachings according to His will. You do not know what you deserve and what is best for you, therefore, allow His will to be done. Joyfully and humbly accept whatever He offers you. 25. Behold how different is the truth. If there is fear in your heart, do not fear me, but rather be afraid of the evil deeds that you practice, because you will have to harvest everything that you sow. But during the moments when your spirit is in contact with the divine, I will allow it to experience that state of peace that it has not found on earth. 26. Disciples, even though you live on earth, you can live a spiritual life. You do not need to separate yourself from material things in order to lead a spiritual life, because the true spiritualist lives in harmony with the laws of man and the laws of God. 27. Blessed is the one who studies my laws and knows how to unite them with the laws of man, because he will be a healthy, strong, elevated, and happy individual. 28. During this era, humanity is living in a period of confusion, of failures, and illnesses of all types because it is no longer following the laws. My law has come to illuminate all spirits during this period of great confusion and summon mankind to follow the path of peace. 29. My revelation during this period represents a new chapter in my book of wisdom. It is as if a seal has been removed from that book, whose contents are overflowing to help all spirits attain purification and freedom so that man can renew himself. 30. Do you observe how mankind appears to lack spiritual enlightenment? Truly, I tell you that although man appears to lack divine enlightenment and inspiration, there is not a single being that is not spiritually awake. 31. My people, the form of my manifestation during this period is very humble. However, if humanity were to study these teachings and made a true effort to obey them, mankind would attain salvation. 32. I manifested myself among the poor during this era, among people who do not boast about being superior, but who are spiritually sensitive and able to recognize my presence and feel my inspirations. I was not able to discover that same sensitivity in other people and nations who consider themselves great and strong on the earth. You, my people, should not use what I tell you as an argument to prove to others that you are spiritually superior. Be aware that vanity will not allow you to progress spiritually, whereas the one who is humble and who believes that his accomplishments are very limited will progress spiritually without ceasing. 33. Do not concentrate only on listening to this word, but observe all of the events that are happening around you and throughout the world. Then you will be able to perceive the fulfillment of many things that I have announced to you in my teachings. 34. Behold how, When you are spiritually asleep, ordeals arrive to awaken you, making you realize that you need to remain alert during this period. 35. Soon you will be transformed from a beginning disciple to a highly dedicated and faithful teacher. Although you will confront struggles, temptations, and difficult choices along your path, you will always be able to see the eternal light of my divine truth shining even when humanity is experiencing its darkest moments. 36. My messengers will spread throughout the world, and spirituality will descend upon the materialism of mankind like the healing waters of a peaceful rain. 37. Although man is now stubborn and unwilling to listen to any spiritual voice, he will eventually realize that I came during this era and will cherish my teachings. You, my people, are responsible for setting an example of faith and obedience for your brethren that will serve to inspire and encourage them. 38. Fulfill your responsibilities as a spiritual being and as a human on the earth. You are well aware of the path and laws that you need to follow. 39. Allow your heart to feel the pain and suffering of your brethren, and do not be concerned only with your own hardships. Do not react with indifference to the ordeals that your brethren are enduring. 40. When will you be able to love your fellow human beings in the same manner that you love those who are your family members? Many would not believe it if they were told that humans are more related spiritually than they are physically. Truly, I tell you that you are more related to each human being as a brother because you are spiritually united eternally, whereas your family members on earth are only temporary. 41. You must be aware that families are established for only a brief time on earth, whereas the spiritual family will remain united throughout eternity. 42. Today you are unable to fully comprehend and practice my teachings. However, you should make a true effort to fulfill your eternal destiny of loving one another. 43. Once you are following my path and practicing true spiritual brotherhood, your lips will reveal teachings and profound revelations that you do not yet know. 44. I will entrust this doctrine to those who are faithful, strong, and who truly prepare themselves to maintain its purity, defend it, and not allow it to be changed. My doctrine will convert humanity, but if you add new ideas to my doctrine, your deeds and words will no longer reflect strength and enlightenment because the divine truth will be concealed. Behold how I watch over you so that you will not fall into temptation, although it is your responsibility to pray and make a true effort to not yield to temptation. 45. Soon you will no longer be listening to this word, and it will appear that you are alone without a shepherd to guide you along the path of life. I am preparing you, however, so that when this manifestation ceases, you will be fully aware that my spirit will be your guide, for my light will shine in your conscience to offer you encouragement. 46. With the passage of time, many of those who have not respected this doctrine will truly repent for not fulfilling my teachings and for having wasted valuable time. I will then say to those who have truly repented, here is my doctrine, and here is your mission. Arise to fulfill your mission, for there is still time. 47. Woe to those who do not truly repent because of their stubbornness and great pride. What will they harvest if instead of sowing good seeds they are sowing bad seeds? 48. I am reading the book of the future to you so that you will know how to work and travel my path. 49. My kingdom is near you. That is why I am giving you these teachings in order to prepare you. I have also sent the spirit of Elijah to unite you and to purify you. 50. I am the true path, and through it all beings will come to me. 51. You are now living during the third era, an era when all the great mysteries will be clarified. 52. Theologians and scholars will need to correct their beliefs according to the truth that I am revealing to you in these teachings. This is the time when man will open his eyes to perceive the light of my wisdom, for the light of this doctrine will resurrect him spiritually to the true life. 53. Now the world will know the truth about the resurrection of the flesh, which is the reincarnation of the spirit. 54. To reincarnate is to return to the material world to be born again as a human in order to continue with one's mission. This is the truth concerning the resurrection of the flesh, which has been misinterpreted by the many who have tried to explain it. 55. Reincarnation is a gift of God granted to the spirit so that it will never be limited because of the material flesh, its brief existence on earth, and its natural weaknesses. Since the spirit originates from a superior nature, it can utilize as many material bodies as are necessary to fulfill its great missions on earth. 56. Through this gift of reincarnation, the spirit demonstrates its great superiority over the flesh, over death, and the material things of earth. It overcomes death and outlives all of the physical bodies entrusted to it, thus triumphing over time, obstacles, and temptation. 57. Spiritual enlightenment is revealing to the world the truth, the justice, the reason, and the love that exists in the spiritual gift of reincarnation. Nevertheless, the world will fiercely battle this revelation, labeling it as a strange and false doctrine in order to make men of good faith distrust it. 58. Religions will find their efforts useless and empty when asking followers to accept old customs, routines, and beliefs that are out of date. No one will be able to detain people from becoming spiritually enlightened. The human spirit will awaken during this era of divine revelations when all doubts and mysteries will be clarified, liberating the spirit. 59. Also, no one will be able to detain man when he arises seeking freedom of thought, spirit, and faith. 60. No one should believe that I have come to take away the faithful followers and supporters from the different religions. However, humanity has now entered into a new era. Old customs, beliefs, and traditions that are of no value will be eliminated, and man will be reminded of past divine teachings that he has forgotten and neglected. This is a time of spiritual purification in which the spirit will free itself from all that is false and negative. The spirit will be nourished with the true spiritual bread, rather than religious rituals. 61. As men become familiar with this doctrine and become spiritually enlightened, they will unite and live in harmony. Enemies will be forgiven, and wars will disappear. Men will also finally comprehend the essence of the doctrine that Jesus taught to humanity through his words and deeds 2,000 years ago. 62. Do you believe it will be difficult for humanity to understand the spiritual in this era? If you review the history of mankind, you will discover that there was a period when the people on earth were filled with superstitions, fanaticism, vices, ignorance, and negative emotions. Man was able to overcome those things when he became inspired by the teachings of Jesus Christ. Embracing faith and practicing deeds of love, man spread the teachings of Christ through nations and regions, bringing great hope and enlightenment. 63. The disciples and martyrs of Christ spoke to people about the divine master and dedicated themselves to spreading and sowing the divine seed of love. Christ manifested himself to the world through his servants. His divine passion was manifested in the hearts of those who loved him. 64. That period of peace and harmony among humanity only lasted briefly because mankind once again became unmerciful, ungrateful, and wicked. During the brief period, however, in which humanity practiced spirituality, harmony, understanding, and brotherhood, there was great peace, inspiration, and enlightenment among mankind. Can you imagine the great things that I will reveal to humanity in the future when man begins to practice true spirituality and harmony on earth? 65. Do not be in doubt as to what the future holds, because if you lack true faith, you will not be worthy of witnessing the fulfillment of my word. 66. Allow your spirit to be near me, for I will give it what it needs. 67. Come listen with a true devotion to the divine teachings, and you will see that in a short time you will truly evolve as you acquire new spiritual knowledge. 68. Do not waste this precious time of grace. Remember that you have experienced great suffering in order to reach this path and to learn of my revelations. 69. You are now harvesting a sweet fruit after experiencing much bitterness. Do not waste this sweet fruit, because tomorrow you will need to share it with those who hunger for peace and truth. 70. If you have been purifying through suffering, maintain the purity of your heart and spirit, for I want those who have witnessed my manifestation to present themselves before humanity as ones who have been purifying and truly practice my doctrine of love. Thus, you will serve as an example for other nations on earth that are presently being purifying through pain and suffering and becoming worthy of receiving my teachings. 71. All those nations that are now experiencing great pain and bitterness will soon be summoned to learn of my new manifestation, which will be as a healing balsam for their great suffering. 72. The teachings that I gave you during the Second Era have now spread throughout the world. Remember that I told mankind that I would return when the doctrine that I brought during the Second Era had spread to all nations. 73. Those of you who have witnessed my manifestation and received my teachings need to summon your brethren. You need to tell them that I have not come to judge them nor to focus on their sins. I have come to seek man, because he is in great need of me, and to offer each one of them my divine love. 74. Take my message of love to all of your brethren. This will prepare you for the time when you will need to take my teachings to unknown lands. 75. Have you not discovered within my teachings my divine desire for this multitude to purify its thoughts, deeds, work, and form of worship? 76. I inspire you to practice sincere deeds of kindness to help your brethren as well as the future generations. The generations to come will experience great joy knowing that you help to prepare their spiritual path. You will also experience infinite joy when you enter the spiritual valley and observe that your brethren on earth are experiencing peace and happiness along the path that you helped to prepare. Do not practice kind deeds for selfish reasons, believing that those deeds will help you to attain salvation. Those who are only interested in their own salvation and happiness will not experience any peace nor joy when they enter the spiritual valley, if they know that those they left behind on earth are experiencing great suffering. 77. Truly I tell you that the true disciples of this doctrine practice deeds of love that are just and pure, as is their conscience, which is the voice of God. My peace be with you.